Over 80% of injector cleaners are junk, and some can destroy your fuel system in just one tank. Independent tests found some premium bottles increase injector wear by 35%. So before you waste another dime, here are 11 fuel injector cleaners you should never use, and a bonus 7 that actually protect your engine. Let's kick it off. Number 11, store brand injectors. You ever walk down the aisle at the auto parts section in a supermarket and see those cheap little bottles that say fuel injector cleaner, only $4.99? Yeah, those are the ones I'm talking about. Those generic store brand cleaners are pure snake oil. They've got fancy labels and bold promises, but I've cut open engines that ran on that junk, and let me tell you, it's ugly. Sticky valves, uneven spray patterns, and carbon packed around the injectors like burnt marshmallow. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Those bottles don't even have real detergents like PEA, which is what actually cleans injectors. Instead, they're filled with weak solvents and cheap carrier oils. It's like trying to wash grease off your hands with plain water. You might feel like you did something, but the dirt's still there. I've had customers swear those cleaners made the car smoother, but that's just placebo. What they're really doing is diluting your fuel and leaving residue that gums up injectors over time. These brands get you with price but cost you in performance. And if you think supermarket cleaners are bad, wait till you hear about the ones that pretend to boost octane while cleaning your injectors. Those are even worse. Number 10. Octane Booster Cleaners. Bright red bottles that promise extra horsepower and deep cleaning all in one shot. It sounds like a quick fix, but it's not. These things are like dumping soda into your gas tank and hoping it makes your car faster. Here's the truth. Octane boosters and injector cleaners are two very different things. Octane boosters change how fuel burns. Injector cleaners remove buildup. When a product claims to do both, it usually does neither very well. Most of these bottles are packed with manganese compounds or metal additives that coat spark plugs and sensors. I've pulled plugs out that looked like they'd been dipped in orange rust. That's from those boosters. And no, they don't actually raise octane in any meaningful way. Maybe a few points, and that's only for a few gallons. But the leftover residue? That stuff sticks to injectors, burns dirty, and ruins catalytic converters over time. It's one of those problems that builds up quietly until performance drops and emissions rise. So, if you're thinking that little orange bottle will clean and boost at the same time, forget it. And if you want to know the truth about some of the dumbest fuel myths people still believe, click the link above. You'll be shocked at how many of them actually hurt your engine. Because the next one doesn't just fail, it can dry out your entire fuel system. Number 9. Water removers. You ever pour something in your tank thinking it's helping, only to find out it's slowly wrecking everything inside? That's what happens with those little yellow bottles like heat. They call them water removers, but what they really are is methanol in a can, and methanol is not your engine's friend. Methanol dries out rubber seals, eats away at plastic fuel lines, and strips away the natural lubricants your injectors depend on. Sure, it can pull moisture out of fuel, but it does it at a cost. Your system ends up brittle and worn. I've pulled apart fuel pumps where the O-rings had turned hard as rock, and guess what the owner had been using for years? Water removers. People buy them thinking they're cleaning or protecting the fuel system from condensation. But if you're running modern gas with ethanol, that already absorbs small amounts of water safely. You don't need more alcohol in the mix. It just makes the problem worse. So, skip the methanol cocktails. If your goal is to clean injectors, not strip them bare, hang tight. Because the next type of additive fools people even harder with its protective promises. Number 8. Lubricity-Only additives. The labels sound convincing. Protects injectors, restores smooth operation, adds upper cylinder lubrication. Sounds good until you realize that's all they do, and it's not what your injectors actually need. These bottles are usually packed with pale oil or light mineral oil. Sure, they can add a slick coating, but they don't remove carbon, varnish, or gum. Think of it like waxing over rust. It might look shiny for a minute, but the problem underneath keeps growing. When you pour these in, you're not cleaning injectors. You're just coating them in oil that can trap more dirt. Over time, that gunk burns unevenly, leading to rough idling and poor atomization. Some of these additives can even foul up oxygen sensors or clog catalytic converters when the excess oil burns off. People grab them because they promise smooth performance and quiet injectors. But quiet doesn't mean clean. It just means the buildup's hidden under a layer of slick residue. And hey, if you're finding this helpful, give the video a like. Share it with someone who needs it and hit that subscribe button, because what's coming next will save you from an even bigger mistake. Number 7. Aerosol carb cleaners. Carb cleaner in your gas tank? That's not cleaning. That's chemical warfare on your fuel system. Those aerosol cans are made for metal parts, not injectors. You might as well pour paint thinner in there and hope for the best. Those cans are packed with harsh solvents meant for direct spray, not dilution in gasoline. They are designed to cut through thick carbon deposits on throttle plates and intake valves. That's fine when you're wiping it off metal surfaces. But when you dump that stuff into your tank, it doesn't mix properly with fuel. Instead, it leaves behind heavy residues that clog injectors, damage rubber seals, and dry out fuel pump components. The chemistry is totally wrong for fuel system use. Carb cleaners use acetone, toluene, and xylene, powerful solvents that attack plastics and coatings inside modern injectors. You'll end up doing more harm than any cleaning you hoped for. Just because it comes in a spray doesn't mean it belongs in your gas tank. If you think that's bad, the next kind of cleaner takes the word miracle way too literally, and people fall for it every single time. Number 6. Mystery all-in-one bottles. Big bold letters on the label saying things like cleans injectors, boosts power, improves mileage, restores compression, yeah, and maybe cures the common cold while it's at it. Just so you know, there's no single bottle can do all that. Most of these multi-purpose additives are just a weak mix of cheap solvents and light oil. They don't have enough PEA to clean anything, and they sure don't have the chemistry to fix real engine problems. You're basically paying for colored fuel. People swear by these after feeling a difference, but what they're really feeling is a short-lived change in combustion, usually from extra alcohol or friction modifiers. After a few tanks, performance drops right back down, and the injectors are just as dirty as before. The danger is in the deception. They promise the world for $10, but behind that shine and marketing hype is a watered-down formula that can do more harm than good. And if you think these miracle bottles are bad, wait till you hear about the next group, the cheap value versions hiding behind trusted names that used to mean something. Number 5. Alcohol-heavy mixes. You know how those all-in-one miracle bottles promise to fix everything? Well, these group takes that nonsense and spikes it with alcohol. Literally. These are the alcohol-heavy injector cleaners that claim to burn off deposits fast. But what they really burn is your injectors, your seals, and your wallet. Most of these cheap cleaners are loaded with ethanol or methanol blends, and that's bad news. Alcohol breaks down the lubricating film inside your injectors, hardens rubber seals, and even corrodes metal parts over time. Your fuel system isn't built to handle that much alcohol in a concentrated form. The problem is, people think the strong smell means it's working. Nope, that smell is your fuel system being stripped bare. Alcohol doesn't dissolve carbon, it just dehydrates everything it touches. You might get a short-term bump in idle smoothness, but the long-term damage sneaks up quietly. Cracked hoses, stiff seals, Weak injector spray? These cleaners sell on the idea of instant cleaning, but engines don't work that way. Real cleaning takes chemistry, not corrosion. And sometimes, the biggest danger isn't what's inside the bottle, it's how long that bottle's been sitting on the shelf. Number 4. Old expired cans. You'd be surprised how many people dig up a dusty can from the back of the garage and think, it's still good. Nope, that stuff goes bad just like old paint or stale gas. Injector cleaners rely on active detergents like PEA or PIBA, polyisobutyleniamine, and those chemicals break down over time. Once that happens, the cleaner loses its punch, or worse, turns into a sludge that can separate and settle at the bottom of your tank. I've seen bottles that looked clear when new turn yellow or cloudy after sitting for years. That's a dead giveaway. It's past its prime. Using an expired cleaner won't just waste your money. It can actually gum up your fuel filter or injectors with degraded residue. Think about it. You're trying to clean the system with something that's already decomposed. Doesn't make sense, does it? If the bottle doesn't have a clear date or smells off, toss it. A few bucks saved isn't worth risking a $1,000 fuel system. And if you think bad chemistry is the issue here, wait till you hear about the next one. It's not even meant for injectors at all. Number 3. Carb-only cleaners. You ever hear someone say, "Cleaner is cleaner? It'll work just fine"? That kind of thinking is how carburetor-only cleaners end up inside modern direct injection engines, and that's a disaster waiting to happen. Carb cleaners were made for old-school engines, big jets, metal parts, and no delicate sensors. They use strong chlorinated solvents that blast through varnish and gum, which was perfect back in the carb days. But today's fuel injectors? They're built with tight tolerances, coated tips, and plastic housings that can't handle those harsh chemicals. When you pour a carb-only cleaner into a gasoline direct injection or electronic fuel injection system, it's like using paint thinner on a touchscreen. It'll clean, all right before it melts or corrodes everything it touches. These solvents can eat injector seals, strip protective coatings, and mess up oxygen sensors in a single tank. The sad part? People still buy them because they're cheap and say, "fuel system cleaner" somewhere on the back. But that label doesn't mean injector safe. And if you think this kind of mistake ruins engines slowly, wait till you hear about the next one. It's the kind of quick fix that can wreck a fuel system in just one dose. Number 2, Overdose one-shot cleaners. You know that old saying, if a little is good, more must be better? Yeah, that's the lie behind these one-shot injector cleaners. The kind that brag about being super concentrated, just one bottle for instant results. Sounds powerful, right? Well, so is bleach, but you wouldn't drink it. These heavy-dose cleaners are packed with strong solvents, sometimes even xylene or acetone. And when you pour the whole thing into a small tank, the concentration gets dangerously high. Instead of cleaning, it strips protective coatings inside your injectors, eats through rubber seals, and burns too hot through the combustion chamber. People love them because they promise speed. Just one tank and you're done. But engines don't work that way. Real cleaning happens gradually, not in one chemical bath. I've seen injectors go from slightly dirty to completely ruined because someone thought more cleaner meant more power. If the label says one treatment fixes everything, walk away. You're not cleaning your injectors. You're shock washing them with chemicals that belong in a lab, not a gas tank. But none of those even come close to the real villains. The ones that don't just damage your injectors, they fool you into thinking they're helping. Number 1, anything without PEA or clear MSDS. I've mentioned PEA a few times already, but this is where I really need to hammer it home, because this right here separates the real cleaners from the snake oil. PEA, polyethylamine is the only detergent proven to clean injectors, valves, and combustion chambers without tearing anything up. Motor Trend, Fuel Logic, and just about every honest mechanic out there agree on this. PEA burns clean, dissolves carbon, and leaves nothing behind. It's the gold standard. So when a bottle lists proprietary blend instead of ingredients, that's a red flag. No PEA means it's just watered-down solvents or alcohol pretending to be high-tech science. You're basically paying for fuel dye and false hope. Don't fall for shiny packaging or wild claims. If it doesn't have PEA, it doesn't clean. Period. And if there's no clear MSDS, material safety data sheet, that means even the manufacturer doesn't want you to know what you're putting in your tank. Now that we've cleared out the junk, let's get to the good stuff. The cleaners that actually earn their place in your tank. So, here are 7 fuel injector cleaners that work. Number 7, Seafoam Treatment. Let's start with one that's been around longer than most people realize. This brand's been kicking around since 1942, and it's been used on everything from boat motors to old V8s. Back then, it started as a marine fuel stabilizer. Then came the oil additive, and now we've got the IC5 fuel injector cleaner made for today's engines. It actually works for light cleaning and keeping injectors clear. It uses mild detergents that break down soft carbon and varnish without hurting seals or sensors. It's not as aggressive as the heavy hitters I'll talk about soon, but it's perfect for regular maintenance. A few ounces every few tanks can help keep things clean and fuel flowing smooth. I like it because it's simple, proven, and safe. It won't melt anything, it won't dry out your fuel system, and it actually stabilizes the fuel. Still, Seafoam's more of a preventer than a fixer. If you want something that digs deeper into carbon deposits, the next cleaner does that job a whole lot better. Number 6. Liqui Moly DIJectron. Now here's one that comes straight out of Germany. These guys don't play around when it comes to fuel chemistry. Liqui Moly's been making additives since the 1950s, and this one's built for modern direct injection engines, where carbon buildup happens fast. DIJectron is loaded with PEA, the same cleaning compound the good stuff always has. It's designed to dissolve hard carbon deposits on injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers without damaging sensors or seals. What makes it special is how consistent it works. You don't need to pour it in every tank. One bottle every few thousand miles keeps your injectors spraying like new. You can actually feel smoother throttle response after a proper treatment. It's not a miracle in a bottle. It's just strong, smart chemistry that does what it says. And because Liqui Moly formulates for European specs, it's safe for both gasoline and turbocharged engines. It's a real cleaner for real buildup. But if you want something that hits even harder, something made for performance engines, that's coming up next. Number 5. Royal Purple Max Clean. Now this one's for the folks who like their engines running clean and strong. This stuff isn't just purple for show, it's one of the few performance-oriented injector cleaners that actually delivers. Royal Purple built its name on race oils and high-performance lubricants, and Max Clean follows the same mindset. Clean, protect, and boost efficiency all in one go. It's packed with PEA, the real cleaning agent you want, and a mix of detergents that lift off hard carbon without stripping away protective coatings. It also helps reduce emissions and improves fuel economy a bit, not by magic, but by restoring proper spray patterns and combustion. You'll notice engines run smoother, idle steadier, and even sound a touch quieter after a full tank with Max Clean. It's strong but balanced, safe for everyday cars and powerful enough for tuned engines. It's the kind of cleaner that earns its place in the shop. But the next one? It's a hidden gem most people overlook, and it's got chemistry that'll make you rethink what a fuel cleaner can really do. Number 4. AMSOIL Performance Improver. The name sounds fancy, but this one's all business. AMSOIL has been around since the 1970s, and their fuel cleaner shows why they're trusted by so many pros. PI is loaded with a strong dose of PEA, the real cleaner that eats away carbon and varnish deep inside injectors and intake valves. It's not just a surface wash. It actually restores spray patterns and fuel atomization, which means better power and cleaner combustion. The cool thing about AMSOIL PI is that it's lab tested. Studies show it can improve fuel economy by up to 5%, but more importantly, it brings back lost throttle response. You can feel the difference after one full tank. It's safe for catalytic converters, oxygen sensors, and all modern engine types. No gimmicks, no junk fillers, just solid chemistry that works. If you want a cleaner that gives real results without the fluff, this is it. But if you're after something used by pros in dealerships and shops everywhere, the next one's been a legend for decades. Number 3, BG Platinum 44K. Now we're getting into the heavy hitters. This one's been the go-to cleaner in professional shops for years, and for good reason. It's not the cheapest, but when you want a deep clean, nothing hits harder. BG 44K is packed with a high concentration of PEA, the real deal ingredient that dissolves carbon on contact. It's designed for direct injection, port injection, and even turbo engines. One can treat up to 20 gallons of fuel, and you can actually see the difference. Smoother idle, quicker starts, and cleaner exhaust after just one tank. What sets it apart is consistency. BG makes this stuff for dealerships and service centers, so it's the same cleaner used in professional fuel system flushes. It burns clean, leaves no residue, and keeps injectors flowing evenly. It's strong, safe, and proven. A true reset button for dirty injectors. You don't need to use it often, just every few oil changes to keep buildup away. Number 2, Redline S I1 Complete Fuel System Cleaner. This formula has been around since the early 1980s, and Redline nailed the chemistry long before top-tier gas was even a thing. It's loaded with nearly 30 to 50% PEA, one of the highest concentrations you'll find in any over-the-counter cleaner. That's what gives it its bite. It goes after hardened carbon on valves, injectors, and combustion chambers. The stuff weaker cleaners just glide over. What makes SI1 special is how balanced it is. It cleans deeply, but also leaves a thin film of protection that helps prevent deposits from forming again. It even conditions fuel system seals and stabilizes fuel, so it works as both a cleaner and a preventative treatment. A single bottle treats up to 20 gallons, and users often report better throttle response and smoother acceleration within days. It's strong, reliable, and science-backed. But the number one spot belongs to a formula that outperforms even Redline in lab and real-world results. Number 1, Chevron Techron. Concentrate/Concentrate Plus. Chevron Techron has been the gold standard of fuel system cleaners since the 1970s, and for good reason. It's the formula everyone else tries to copy. This isn't marketing hype. Techron is the original PEA-based cleaner that set the foundation for modern injector detergents. What makes it stand out is Chevron's proprietary polyethyramine technology, refined through decades of lab testing and partnerships with automakers. It doesn't just scrub injectors, it cleans intake valves, piston tops, and combustion chambers with precision. And because it burns clean, it leaves no residue behind. Even automakers like BMW, GM, and Honda have used Techron as their go-to recommendation for fuel system maintenance. It's effective on both gasoline direct injection, GDI, and port-injected engines, restoring lost power, fuel economy, and smoother idling. A single bottle every few thousand miles keeps your system spotless. It's proven, trusted, and backed by real chemistry. The one cleaner that actually delivers everything it promises. Now that's what working science looks like in a bottle. Even the best fuel cleaner can't save an injector that's already failing. Want to know the red flags before it's too late? Click below. I'll show you every symptom of a bad or clogged injector.